Hello and welcome to Kiki Airlines. If there's anything that we can do, and we mean anything, to make your flight more pleasurable, don't hesitate to let us know. Hey girl, hey! How has it been a week since our last Kiki? Girl, it's been too long. You know, we need to catch up, girl. Let's Kiki. Let's do this. Welcome back to the Kiki, everybody. I'm here to review RuPaul's Drag Race Season 7, Episode 2. Can you believe it? It's been a week since our last Kiki. Have you missed me? Because I've missed you guys. So welcome back. Thank you for joining me again. What did you think of the show, girl? What did you think? Okay, let's get into this. So the girls come back into the workroom after they've been on stage, and Tempest du Jour has left the building, and she's left a lovely little note on the mirror in lipstick, as they always do, and it says something about, like, blah, 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 you're never too old to dream, and some bitch, don't know if you heard this, some bitch just goes, really? Like, someone reads it out, you're never too old to dream, and there's this little voice just goes, really? Like, girl. Go back. If you didn't hear that, go back. Listen to it. It's there, and it's shady as hell. Speaking of shady bitches, by the way, in the voiceover while the credits are rolling, Ru goes with our extra special guest judges. He's clearly more in favour of one than the other. I don't know if you picked up on that. But, like, he's like, extra special guest judges, Jordan Sparks and Olivia Newton-John. Like, he was pulling an Oprah. He was clearly way more excited about Olivia than Jordan. And I'm like, poor Jordan. Like, she's fabulous. Like, as well. Like, they're both fab. Like, girl, that was a bit obvious. So, going back to the girls. They're all huddled around a table discussing what's just happened. And Violet just goes, I hate Michelle Visage. And I'm like, queen. Really? Round queen, mama. Round queen. Like, I get it. Michelle read her for filth. But, like, that's her job, as Ginger put it. Like, she's paid to judge, so she judges. And I'm like, Violet, what did you expect? I know you won, but, like, come on. Like, Michelle's points were kind of valid. So, like, don't be a bitch. But whatever, moving on from her. So the next day, they all come back into the workroom, and Ru announces that for their mini-challenge, they are going to get blown by the pit crew. No, not like that, you dirty bitch. Like, actually with a leaf blower. Because why not? So all the girls have to stand in front of a pit crew member who has a leaf blower pointed at their face, and they have to try and make themselves look good and sexy and fabulous for, like, this little video montage that they're doing, and, like, their faces are going all over the shop, their lips are fluttering around like Juju's eyelash in season 2. Like, do you remember that girl? These bitches have never been blown like that before. And it was giving me life. It was so funny. It was, like, such a funny mini challenge to see them all looking kind of distorted and weird, and some of them couldn't quite get the angle right, and they were giving me astronaut in G-Force Whirlies testing realness kind of thing. And breathe. And, like, the funny thing was as well, Moby turned up, and I was like, yay, Moby! And then I was like, hang on, Moby? What? Like, what has Moby got to do with this? Like, I don't get it. Have I missed some kind of, like, subtlety here? I don't know. Like, tell me if I have, but I'm like, really? It seemed a bit out of place. Like, I'm not complaining. I was just like, okay. I was half expecting if there was going to be some kind of person, maybe some sort of leaf-blowing representative. But, I didn't get it. Sorry about it! Clearly what's happened is that RuPaul's Drag Race has gotten to the point where celebrities just want to be on the show. They don't care in what capacity, they just have to be on the screen. So, like, that's a thumbs up for Drag Race, really, as far as I'm going. So, Ginger and Trixie win the mini-challenge, and they are announced to be the two team captains for the group challenge, which is revealed to be that they are to create a safety pre-flight announcement / stage show thing involving lip sync lyrics and also spoken word mashup, which is obviously inspired by Lip Syncer, the one and only. Children, if you don't know who Lip Syncer is, go check her out. Like, you need to teach the children this because she's fabulous. Like, epic. I love me some Lip Syncer, so this challenge for me was right on my alley. Miss Candy Ho. So the girls start picking who they want. And Violet and Candy are the final two. And, like, Violet sat there like, I don't understand. I just won the first challenge. Why am I being picked towards the end? And I'm like, girl, it's because your attitude is crap. Sorry about it. Like, really, she didn't realise? Like, honey, come on. You are a pain in the ass. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to really realise why she's down there. But maybe it does. I don't know. I was just like, I wasn't surprised for her to be that low. I really wasn't. I mean, I get it. You know, she's a brilliant queen. She knows exactly what she's doing. It's just that she has a really bad attitude about it. She is fierce, yes. But where's the personality? Like, this is like Tyra Sanchez part 2. You know, Violet has uniqueness, nerve and talent, but where's the charisma? Right now, she's just unt. Do you know what I mean? Who is Violet? I don't know. Like, she's not giving us anything, and I hope she does down the line because she is fierce. And I want to love her. But her personality is like making it really hard. And even so much as when they're in the groups, Violet's running her mouth again in the group. And Trixie's just over it. She's like completely like had it up to what here? Like done. She's just shuts her down every time. And like good for Trixie, I say. Like, you know, Violet was completely taking liberties. I'm not saying I'm not a dancer, but I'm not a dancer, but I'm not a dancer. And Trixie's like, this bitch. So good on Trixie. I'm like seeing more of her and I'm starting to understand her a bit more, like loving it. She is doing it for me right now. And I absolutely loved the interaction, how the groups are working with each other. Like Ginger's group was just hilarious. I mean, Ginger, by the way, can we talk about Ginger? Can we talk? Ginger was giving me everything. Like she completely stole the show. It was the Ginger Minj show. I was living for it. Her little one-liners and her quips and her commentary was everything. And she clearly can lead the group. And like her little comments and stuff were just slaying me. Like that whole thing about how the other group was Aryan Airways. I was like, bitch went there. That's funny shit right there. And then the other, when Ru goes over to the other team and they're like, has anybody got any acting experience? Has anybody got any dancing experience? And you're just like, oh, this is going to be interesting. And while we're talking about, you know, quips and commentary, Katya still doing it for me. Her little one-liners and her narration over the top of the show is just really brilliant, really stand out, giving it much more humour and comedy. So yeah, kudos to her. So when it actually comes around to the proper stage show and they have to do their bit, they've all struggled in the choreography. Like, Miss Fame was like clearly having issues. Violet was being a bitch about the cincher or the seatbelt thing, and Pearl had to like put her in her place. Good for Pearl, quite frankly. And Ginger was having issues, as was Jaden, but like everyone turned it out. It was great. So they get onto the stage, they're doing their thing. Katya opens the show with this incredible monologue and she flubs it. Like completely goes wrong. Like my heart was just like, oh dear. Like I know that Katya is an incredible lip syncer. I've seen her performances, and one of which, her most famous one probably, is her monologue. She does this incredible monologue. I'm not sure who it's of, I should know that. But it's this like great big monologue about Christianity or something. And she is like down. She has it down. And I thought, she's going to get this. Like this whole monologue is her to a T. And she missed it up. Like completely missed the mark. Redeem yourself, girl. But towards the end of it, she did remember her lines and she started to pick it up. And especially throughout the rest of the performance, she was on point. So yeah, she picked it up. But the main thing she missed. Miss Fame was a bit rigid, a bit cardboardy, a bit robotic in her dance movements, but she's not really a performing queen. She is a fashion girl, and like the other queens clocked her for it in the workroom. Yeah, they sort of came for a little bit, which I was a bit surprised about. Sort of Jasmine was kind of leading the march, although Ginger instigated the conversation, Jasmine kind of hijacked it a bit. And some of the others sort of had their pop. And then you sort of saw this kind of, you know, side of Miss Fame that we haven't seen yet, a bit more of humility and that kind of thing. And she was talking about her family, and it was just really nice to see that side of her. So I know last week she came off really cold. This week there was a sign of humility, which was nice to see, really. I thought it was sweet. But that being said, she still wasn't very good on the stage. And actually, funnily enough, Violet turned it out. I thought she did her performance really well. She kind of had a really nice element of comedy, a bit of humour to it. Even though all she was doing was just having a belt wrapped around her, she kind of made it her own, and I was quite impressed by that. I have to admit, as I said, she's a fierce queen, but she's a bitch at the same time. Like, the problem is she's a bitch, but we love her because she's a bitch. It's like, just, I want to see a bit more humility, but as Michelle said, there's this clown underneath, and I want to see that. So I hope Violet's walls start coming down, because there's still this front that I need to go, but I am really liking her. So then the first group does their bit, the second group comes along led by Ginger, and they are turning it. Like, they did a really good job. Ginger was just everything. Jasmine Masters totally owned her lip sync. I thought she was well up there, for contention for winning maybe, but her look let her down, I think, in the runway. Her jet set look wasn't really all that. Kennedy was really funny, and I have to give it to Mrs. Kasha Davis. She worked it. Like, she's gone up in my estimations. I thought she was absolutely brilliant. That whole scat thing was just hilarious. It was a big part. That was one of the bigger parts, and she totally made it her own. And I just loved her for it, to see that kind of campiness come out. So Liza with a Z, not Lisa with an S. It was just brilliant. It was so nice to see her being able to have her moment to shine, and she owned it. So that was fantastic. And obviously Jaden Dior Fierce is a little bit of a hungry dick pig, because she was all up in that pilot's cockpit. I mean, she clearly knows how to work a bag of nuts in flight. Do you know what I'm saying? Oh, between you and me, girl. Okay. So then afterwards, all the queens had to then present Jet Set Eleganza for their runway. And they're all coming out in weird and wonderful things, different interpretations. Trixie comes out looking a little bit like Judy Jetson, with this whole spaceship style, space travel themed kind of thing, which I thought was really cute. And the thing is, I'm starting to get Trixie a bit more. Like, last episode, wasn't really getting it. This episode, it's starting to click together. Like, her little drunken monologue on stage when she was performing, and then like flying away on the trolley. Gold. Loved it. Living. I'm getting her. I'm liking her. Yes. Max's look and Pearl's look were very chic, really good jet set, especially Pearl's. That was just brilliant. That was so Saint-Tropez celebrity jetting over on their private jet. It was absolutely everything. And then Sasha rocks up looking a little bit like Lady Bunny. Not necessarily a bad thing, but like, considering she didn't have a big role on stage and she was struggling a bit with her hair, like, her lip sync was down. Let's be real, let's be fair. But she was struggling a bit. She wasn't really up kind of with the same energy as the others. So she needed to turn out something a bit better for Jet Set. And she didn't really, which was a shame, because I like her. Sasha wanted to do the scat part and she didn't get it, and there was no kind of wiggle room. There was nothing to do in her part. So she was obviously going to struggle a bit, and she had to turn it out for her runway, and she didn't really. Let's be real. We also discovered that Carson Kressley is now in love with the Minj. Who would have thought, really? But hey, we're all open to new ideas here. So Ginger Minj wins the challenge, which is quite exciting, especially after she gets to do her little Sandy thing in front of Olivia Newton-John, which was just everything. So yes, she won. And unfortunately, Sacha Bell and Katya fell into the bottom two. Miss Fame was that close to being in the bottom two. I am almost surprised she wasn't there. I think it's just because Katya really messed up her lip sync far more, and it was so important that she's down there, because I liked her jet set look more than Miss Fame's. So, as I said, Katya and Sacha Bell have to lip sync for their life, and as they start, Katya comes out with the epic line of, "She's sweating like a hooker in church." And I'm like, this is the kind of shit that we need to see more of in these shows. So I was like, yes, keep doing what you're doing, girl. So they battle it out to an Olivia Newton-John song in front of Olivia Newton-John, no pressure, and Katya turns it. Like, I'm sorry, her lip sync was down, and she was doing jump splits all over the place. She did a little back roll thingy while she was stood up. I don't know what that was. And then she did this amazing slow split onto the stage, which was just everything. And did you see the size of those heels? Like, how she did that? Like, you would struggle to do that anyway, let alone in, like, what was that, 6-inch heels? That was ridiculous. And she was just like, and what, bitch? Like, check it. Her tuck got very intimate with that stage. I hope they have a good cleaning department. Break out the Windex, that kind of thing. Psh, psh. And all the while Katya's doing that, Sasha is trying her best to keep up pace, but she can't. And in the miasma of it, she loses a tit. I mean, literally, like, her padding comes out. Powder puff realness just hanging there. I'm like, oh, okay. So after all that, Katya gets to stay, and unfortunately Sasha Bell has to sashay away. And it was sad because I really liked Sasha. I just don't think people really got to know her well enough. But I've seen her stuff on YouTube. She's a fierce performer. I think she just overthought it all really, and it's a shame. But someone's got to go, and unfortunately it were her. So overall, I absolutely loved the episode. What did you think, people? What did you think? Let me know. I thought the whole sort of the humour around the Glamours and Airways was just brilliant. The whole kind of how they have little aspects, and there's, you know, like lip sync lyrics and also mashup of spoken word really puts them through their paces. Like, that's like a really big challenge for like week 2, and that's really putting them through their paces. So it's nice to see that, you know, the team, the production team are kind of going, you know what, we're going to make them work for it this year, which is fabulous. For me, the queens that sort of went up in my estimations were Ginger, Kasha and Trixie. I am really starting to understand Trixie a lot more. I loved seeing more of Kasha Davis and her sort of campy shtick. She knows what she's doing, and it was really good to see it. And Ginger is just hilarious. And all 3 of those really turned it out for me and really impressed me. And they've gone up for me. And unfortunately, going down for me is Violet. Again, I need to see some more humility and humanity from her. Like, she knows what she's doing, yes, but there's more to it than just that. So I need to see more from her. Katya has gone down for me. Like, I love her. She's still my girl, but she should have done better with that monologue. Like, that's what she does. She's famous for that. So I was like, come on, you've got to work it out next week. And I'm sure she will, because she's fabulous. She's hilarious. But yeah, she didn't do well this week. And Miss Fame has kind of gone down a bit for me. Although it was really nice to see that softer side to her. It was great. But I also need to see just a little bit more, you know, something a little bit extra. Yes, I get it. You're beautiful. You're stunning. You know what you're talking about when it comes to fashion. You look the part. But there's some more that comes with it. But I'm hoping, as I say, we're only in week 2. She has opened up the little flower that is her. That sounds worse than I meant it to. But hopefully it will keep going and we will see more of her. So, yes, bring it on, quite frankly. Because she is nice. But she didn't do well this week and she stumbled a bit. And I was like, come on, girl. As I said, it is only week 2, but I am starting to find that we are seeing more of the queens and how they work. As I said, I'm understanding Trixie a bit more. I'm really getting into Pearl now. Like, I'm starting to get her and get her look and her attitude. Like, I'm really, really warming to Pearl very quickly now, when I was a bit sort of frosty to her before. Even Jasmine Masters, I think, has calmed down a little bit, although she kind of showed her ass in Untucked. But, you know, whatever. I think she sort of calmed down a bit from one fangirly moment, and she's now kind of going into this other role, and I'm just intrigued to see how it plays out. But she did really well on stage, and yeah, it's really cool to see the dynamics and getting to know the queens a bit better. So everybody, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. You know, who are you warming to? Who do you think did really well? Who did you not like? Who did you like? Who rocked it? Who didn't? Like, you get the idea, girl. So do drop me a comment below, because I do like to kiki with you guys. And don't forget to comment on each other's comments and stuff, because, like, we're all family here. We're all good. We're all lovely. So, like, yeah, like, let's get the conversation going, people. What did you think? Because I want to know. This is the whole point of why we kiki every week. Do you know what I'm saying, girl? Thank you so much for joining me again at the Kiki for episode 2. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Comment, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Come into the family, be welcomed. We are all friends here. So yes, I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you so much for joining me again this week for the Kiki. Stay tuned for next week's shenanigans, where we will read these bitches for filth. Bring it on, girl. Make sure you got your reading glasses, girl, because you know we're gonna need them. I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys think, though. So until then, be good, be safe, keep out of trouble, stay fierce, girl. See you later. Take care. Bye.